Ugh. I think I need a break. So here I am, wide awake, but also exhausted at 3 o'clock in the morning, reflecting on this whole YouTuber journey. It's a story being retold by millions of budding YouTube creators across the globe as I speak. It's the highs and lows and the trials and triumphs that we all share. A collective journey that's long, sometimes tough, but always rewarding. Because it's within these stories that we find insights and we uncover strategies, and most importantly, we all grow together. So you know what? At just after 3 AM in the morning, I've got a new video idea. So I guess my YouTube journey started back in 2008. That's 15 years ago. Anyway, my first video upload was a classic example of how not to start a YouTube channel, because the video doesn't exist anymore. There were two very popular football pundits in the UK at the time, and they got in trouble for some somewhat controversial opinions. Now I thought it'd be really funny to get a compilation of all of their blunders and upload them to YouTube, not thinking that none of that content was mine. And so that was my first and very obvious mistake. Don't use copyrighted content. It's often going to get claimed, no money for you, or you're going to get some strikes, no channel for you. Bit of a terminal lesson, that one. But anyway, there it was, my first video on YouTube. And what did I do next? Absolutely nothing. For months. But then something really weird happened, or at least it felt really weird at the time. I got noticed. Now typically when you set up your YouTube channel, you just leave all of the notifications on. Yes, I want an email when I get a new subscriber. Yes, I want an email when I get a new comment. And more of them kept coming in every single day. Doing something and have people engage with it on the internet was very new to me. And you know what that feels like, don't you? Real engagement is a sweet, sweet dopamine hit. And I wanted more. So I started creating stuff, and I do mean random stuff. If you go back to the origins of my personal YouTube channel, you will see I was all over the place and very sporadic. And guess what? I completely failed to replicate the success of that first video. And so those notifications soon dried up. And so it wasn't until 4 years later that I decided to take some real, intentional action. 2012 was the year I got a brand new piece of shiny tech, the Asus Transformer Prime. If anybody remembers that tablet, holler if you hear me in the comments below. When I went onto YouTube to try and find out how to use this shiny new piece of tech, I couldn't find anything because nobody was covering this particular tablet. And that is when I had my first true YouTube light bulb moment. Why don't I help people how to use it? I knew there wouldn't be a huge audience for this niche piece of tech, but I knew there was an audience, and I was going to help them. And as soon as I became laser focused on a certain thing for a very specific audience, I learned a very valuable lesson. The more I focused on just one thing, the better I got as a creator, and I did it a lot faster. So I put in the reps and I did them intensely. Through doing this, I found out that I was really good at a critical YouTube skill, taking an idea to a published video. I could come up with a new idea to talk about this tablet, and within 30 seconds to a minute, I'd already made the decision whether or not I was going to turn that into a video. I very quickly got into a routine. Idea in 1 minute, completed video within 2 or 3 hours. Every single day for months. And this brings us to a classic conversation all content creators have at some point in their YouTube journey. Quantity versus quality. From my personal experience on that question, here's what I recommend. Focus more on making lots of videos rather than perfect videos. This way you practice the whole process of making content over and over again. And through doing that, you'll build up your YouTube muscles very, very quickly. And you'll also find out very, very quickly whether or not you enjoy making videos, which is quite important for YouTube. Imagine you've made 50 videos and you're not getting loads of views. That is not uncommon. Building up a YouTube audience does take time. But after making those 50 videos, you'll go back to your first one and say to yourself, yeesh. That's rough. The winning trick on YouTube is one of the most obvious: consistency. Keep showing up and keep creating. It's one of the fundamentals here at vidIQ. I can count on a single hand the number of times we've missed a deadline or not gone live with our weekly stream. You have come to rely on us, and I'd like to think that we don't let you down. And here's the funny thing about YouTube that every single creator learns at some point or another. You will spend hours, days, sometimes even weeks crafting that perfect video, and it'll fizzle out and do nothing. And then on another occasion, you'll whip up a video in 10 minutes and it'll turn out to be your best performing one for the entire year. That's YouTube for you. But regardless of video performance, the simple truth is this: the more you create, the more you learn. And the more you learn, the more you understand how YouTube works. Now, once the video's out there, it's showtime. No, I don't look like him. And what makes YouTube completely unique to anything that came before it, and addictive, and probably terrible for your mental health, is real-time data. Unlike writing a piece in a magazine or appearing in a theatre play, you get immediate feedback to every little thing that you do. And seeing all of that feedback can send you into an immediate action mode. And I will confess to all who are watching and listening, I am an analytics junkie. I'm feeding the data directly into my veins. I remember a time when I would have been overjoyed to get 100 views in a single day. Then it became 1,000, 10,000. And these days I'm gunning for 100,000 views per day. It's ridiculous, isn't it? You always want graphs that are going up and to the right, and those green numbers. Ugh. It is a thrill, isn't it? Right up until the point the numbers start to slump. It's like you're always stuck in this endless cycle of chasing better and better numbers. YouTube have done a really good job of gamifying analytics, haven't they? And then the inevitable blame game begins. Is it me? Is it YouTube? Yeah, probably. What is going wrong? In the moment, absolutely, you're going to have unbelievable highs and depressing lows. It's stressful, and half the time you think everything is beyond your control. But what I ultimately found out is that if I continued to be consistent, to turn up, and stuck to a long-term game plan, the channel does this in an unstoppable fashion. And by 2016, after 4 years of hard work, I felt as if I'd hit my YouTube stride. 25,000 subscribers, a couple of million views on the channel. I felt as if by then I knew a little bit about YouTube, and I wanted to give my knowledge back to the community. So I started to share my YouTube journey in the sense that if I could do it, then you probably could too. And yeah, I'll be the first to admit it wasn't the perfect pivot from tech to YouTube education. Oh well. Now at the same time, YouTube education was becoming an industry in itself. Obviously, since you're here, you've heard of vidIQ, but at the same time there was a competitor that we'll call Brand X. Controversial opinion, Jack's Joker, the best one. Now at the time I had a very neutral opinion. I just wanted the best tools to help me grow my channel. So I tried both of them. But it just so happened that vidIQ at the time had a superior tool. Copy tags. Yeah, you don't need to do that anymore. So I decided to make an incredibly simple video about how to copy tags with vidIQ. And that turned out to be the biggest decisive decision of my professional life. The performance of that video was very modest indeed. Today it has 4,500 views in 7 years. But here's where the magic happened. Every video, even with just a handful of views, has unimaginable potential. And this was one of them. With that video, I reached out to vidIQ on Twitter. Elon, what have you done? Brand X. I told them I'd made a video about their tools. It was a collaboration they never asked for, and they got it for free. Call it luck, call it timing. The next 24 hours, whew. The CEO of vidIQ at the time, who's still the same CEO and a very busy person, found the tweet and got in touch with me immediately. Now, up until this point, the only YouTube income I dabbled with was ad revenue. Yes, I am the first to admit I am a terrible business person. But the CEO, right there and then, offered me some paid freelance work. I could not believe it. And get this for a crazy little story. I had no idea how much I was worth to vidIQ. And the CEO asked me, how much are you going to charge for your freelance work? And I just plucked a figure out of the air, $25 an hour. But this was a moment that really solidified my relationship with vidIQ. The CEO insisted I was worth more than that and volunteered to pay $45 an hour. Having someone recognize my value and not take advantage of it was truly empowering. And so the rest is history, right? Not quite. I started making one vidIQ video a week for $45 an hour. A nice top up to my ad revenue, but not quite quit your day job money just yet. But then, after about 6 months of good work vibes, the CEO of vidIQ threw me a humongous curveball. He asked me if I'd be interested in working with vidIQ full time. I ain't got any more hands to do anything. I was floored. This was a life-changing opportunity. Hell yeah, I was interested. But life is rarely a simple, straight path, isn't it? Canada, where I was living at the time, has some rather complicated visa employment laws. And because I wasn't a Canadian at the time, I would have to jump through many legal hoops to even make this opportunity a reality. It would take almost a year to do that. And here's the incredible thing, vidIQ waited. 18 months after I sent that tweet, I became a full-time YouTuber, content creator, digital marketer. I like to call myself YouTuber in residence. It's a made-up name, it's quirky. There's only one of these in the entire world, I think. Which brings us to vidIQ, and the rest is kind of history, charted in the 1,400 videos we've already made on the channel. You should definitely check them out. For 99.9% of creators on YouTube, success does not come easily or quickly. I joined vidIQ when we had 1,500 subscribers, and it took us 18 months to get to 100,000 subscribers and over 5 years to reach that golden, magical 1 million subscriber milestone. And what inevitably comes with success? A hunger for more. And it took me far longer than I realized it should that I need help on this channel. For several years, I did absolutely everything on the channel by myself. And then Dan joined, and what a lovely man he is with a beautiful voice. But we still worked independently of each other, putting all of the burden on our shoulders for every aspect of the creative process. I am not the world's best script writer, video editor, or thumbnail designer. So we finally got some help. In the last 12 months, we've gone from a team of 2 to a team of 6, and the results speak for themselves. But I will admit it was a lesson that took far too long to learn, because I always want control of everything. Most of the time it is your job to earn the trust of your audience. But when the time comes, be ready to trust others to help you on your YouTube journey. And you know what? Telling you about stories maybe quite tired. And goodness, it's 3:15 in the morning now. So why don't you share your YouTube stories in the comments below, and I'll check them out in the morning. I'm done. I forgot to turn the lights off.